Hey losers! Welcome to my channel. I'm Coral. I make videos about books that are spooky and sometimes troubling. So if you're into that, welcome to my channel. I am here with the biggest book haul I'm going to have all year. This year, I asked husband, daughter, family members for books for my birthday. And I was planning on trying to make it 33 books for my 33rd birthday. And I ended up with a couple more than that. We also went some places, visited some really cool stores. I picked up some things there. I treated myself, which is within... Okay, I did skew my Read What You Own challenge a little bit because I did buy some things that, I bought some things because we went to places and went to some bookstores, but I also did order a couple used books to help me reach my 33 books for my 33rd birthday. I think here is 35. I had kind of a hard year and it hasn't let up yet, but I'm hoping it will. I'm just trying to make myself happy, basically. I'm trying to make myself happy, and that's by buying 33 books for my 33rd birthday this month. I also did a lot of really cool things, and like I said, went to some cool stores and things like that, so I will talk you through that as we go. Since there are a lot of books here, I'm not going to be going into like really detailed synopsises or anything like that. First three books here. We took a trip near the coast, near Santa Barbara, a couple weeks ago, and on our way back home, stopped in San Luis Obispo. If you live in like kind of central coasty, if you live in like central California, probably you've been there. It's a really nice town. It's nicer than Pismo in my opinion. Pismo is just the town where I live in, but like at the beach, and that's not always very nice. But Pismo is, Slow is a little more cultured. They have a really cool downtown area, really like walking friendly, which is something I like because where I live is not like that at all. The weather's much cooler. They have great independent shops. We bought some like records. My kiddo bought some clothes that she liked. We visited some cool stores, and one of those being a shop that when I was looking it up, I was like, I think there's a used bookstore here. I'm pretty sure it's called Phoenix Books. And I was like, how have I never been to this? And then I walked in and realized that I had. I actually found, you can't see it, it's up there, a missing piece of a series I had been looking for, a Mercedes Lackey fantasy series in like the same editions that I had there, like years, like probably like 15 years ago, right? So I was excited. I didn't find, they had like a whole bunch of mass market paperbacks, and I was like, hell yes, I'm going to find some treasures. But you know what? I think probably that gets treasure hunted often. But I did find some things I was looking for. One being the last of the Avon Patricia Cornwells that I need. I think there's only 4 of them, and I love the covers on these. This is the last one, Body of Evidence. It's part of her K. Scarpetta series, in which the main character is a forensic pathologist, which when I was in middle school and high school, that's what I dreamt of being. So when I read these, well, I dreamt of being that, and then someone was like, this character in this series is that, and I was like, oh my god, and I really enjoyed the ones that I read. I didn't read a whole ton of them, but I really liked what I read. And then I liked the covers of the Avon published ones, and I wish that they had, I'm pretty sure Avon did more of them, but like the style of the art changed, and it was kind of sad. But I also found Remember Me by Christopher Pike and Remember Me 2. I didn't have either of these. This one has the die cut cover. Unfortunately, it's a little bit ripped, but you know, it was like $2. These are like 90s teen horror books. And while we were there, I saw that the library was having a library book sale, so I popped in. They said it was the last day of the sale, which makes sense. It was like a Sunday, I think. And so I didn't find anything I really wanted, except for this copy of The Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean M. I don't know how to say her last name, Owl. I wanted this edition of, and I found it. Like, I could have found this online also, but I had been looking for one of these. And I was looking for this because my Nana gave me this book when I believe I was about 12 years old. And this was, I was already reading V.C. Andrews by then, so I don't think I was like absolutely like traumatized, but like this has a lot of sex. And I don't know what happened to the copy that I had, but I wanted to find a copy again. I was thinking about my Nana, and so I'm glad I found it. And then while we were there, I also stopped at the Barnes & Noble in Slough, which is nice. It's a nice two-story one. And I found a couple of good things. It's always nice to, you know, because Barnes & Noble lets some of their booksellers set up things, you can find some things that I wouldn't find at mine. And I found a couple of really interesting, like, general fiction books that I wanted, and a couple horror books that I wanted. First is Nefando by Monica Ojeda. She wrote Jawbone, which I haven't read and I really need to. I did this twice, in this haul at least twice, where I bought more books from an author that I haven't read yet, actually 3 times. This is a book about a spooky video game and people with trauma, and they're using this video game to process it, I believe. Like I said, can't be super detailed with the synopsises and make this video under 30 minutes. It's probably gonna be over 30 minutes as it is, and that's edited down. I picked up a copy of Cold Eternity by S.A. Barnes. This is one of my most anticipated for the year. This is a sci-fi horror book about a person, I feel like she is trying to escape like some debt or an interplanetary political scandal, and she gets in like a cryo freeze thing, and I can't remember if that's like on purpose or not, and ends up like on this ship where other people are also supposed to be cryogenically frozen, but there's things on the ship, I guess, I don't know, something around those lines. Loosely, it's about that. I also picked up Zero Saints by Gabino Iglesias. This is his newest work. It's about a guy seeking revenge from some gang members in Mexico. Okay, then the kind of weird lit fic I found. One, Sour Cherry by Greek author Natalia Theodoridou. I'm not sure how to say his last name, but something like that. And, you know, reading the synopsis, I'm not really sure what this is about. It's about a woman who somehow, like, it seems like she accidentally curses this man, and then all these, like, unfortunate circumstances befall him, and it ends up where he has, like, accidentally killed a bunch of his wives, and now their ghosts, like, follow him around. It just sounds so strange. And how could I say no to this cover also? Then Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. This is a book about a woman whose wife went away. She was doing something in the ocean, and now she comes back, but she's not quite the wife that the woman remembers. Next, Oregon Meats by K-Ming Chang. This is about 2 friends who learn that they share this ancestry where they come from a line of women who have dog heads for heads, and they want to become dogs and run away together forever, but they're separated, and how will they get back to each other? So yeah, I found this looking at stuff on the internet. I was looking for something else, and this popped up as like a suggestion, and I was like, well, what is this? Like, the cover, excellent. The title, excellent. And then I read the synopsis, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I want to read it. And I was so stoked to find this. It was like a pile of books, and it was like pink books, right? And I'm pretty sure Our Wives Under the Sea and this one were both on it, and I was like, I want to buy both those books. Finally, from the San Luis Obispo Barnes & Noble, this is Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Wang. This is one that I read, and I have wanted to get a copy of it. I just haven't prioritized it. So I saw it, and I was like, I think this is my sign that I should pick up this copy. This is about a young woman who gets this job at this strange, almost culty, holistic store called Holistic, and they do a lot of like skincare, beauty things, wellness type stuff, and the things just keep getting wackier and wackier as she is pulled along. And obviously there are also like some sinister undertones to what's happening at this clean, pure, holistic store. I also bought some stuff from ThriftBooks because I had like some sort of I don't know, I can't remember if it was like a free birthday book or like extra points or something. There was like some sort of birthday incentive, right? So I ordered some things. I was pretty stoked about what I found, but of course things are just like not always in the condition that there's just like no universal, like who is overseeing this? I know there are different warehouses that these come from, but like I'm sorry. This was good condition, right? This is really, really good condition. Like, I would say this is not like new, but I would say it's like excellent or very good. Meanwhile, I get this that says it's like new. It's all crumpled. Oh shit, did I just smear my lipstick all over my face? I just hit myself. God. Oh, can't wipe that on my white fucking chair either. What's wrong with me? Let me look at my face in the mirror. Anyway, before I forget, before I look at my face to make sure I didn't smear my lipstick all over, who graded the quality of these? Because it's so wacky all of the time. And like sometimes I'm okay buying certain things in good condition, like this horror 100 best books. Sure, yeah, like this is old and probably hard to find, so if I can find one that's in good copy, I really just like kind of want to see what's in it because it's a reference book. I'll be right back. Oh, Pewin. My lipstick's just kind of messy. It's been on for a long time. I didn't put on lip liner. I don't usually need to, but I'm probably because it's kind of bleeding everywhere. So anyway, I found 2 reference books that I was interested in. One is the Book of Lists Horror Edition, and this one has like movies, it has books, it has music, and then artwork, other miscellaneous things. So I love this type of stuff and I thought that this would be fun. The other reference book I found was Horror 100 Best Books. And this one is listing 100 best horror books. Now this was published in 1988, so they're going to be older books, of course. And I'm assuming some quite a lot older than the 1980s, but I'm like stoked about this. Anyways, there's a lot of contributors and I love this kind of shit, you know. Oh, I actually got quite a few nonfiction books out of this haul, which is honestly where I like to get a lot of my nonfiction from, because mostly cheaper, because I'm looking for old stuff and it's not like a old horror, vintage horror, where like it's been eaten up. The prices have gone up significantly. And this is an older, anyways, this is a newer, I don't know what year this came out, but this is Nicole and Jemmy's anatomy book. I don't know what year this was published in. I followed her Instagram for like forever, right? Like since I made myself an Instagram, it feels like. And she is a physician's a pathologist's assistant. And so like this book is full of strange medical things. Another nonfiction book I got is Auschwitz, A Doctor's Eyewitness Account by Dr. Miklos Niezli. He was a doctor who was imprisoned at Auschwitz, and he survived by working at like the medical facilities that they had there. He did it as something that he thought would be his best chance of survival, and he did survive, which is really incredible when you consider that he was working for Josef Mengele, who also survived, unfortunately. Yeah, I've been meaning to read this for quite some time because I can't think of another account I've heard of where it's in the medical setting of a concentration camp, and it's also from a doctor who was forced to work there. And then the last nonfiction I bought from ThriftBooks is Fuzz by Mary Roach. This is a nonfiction like compilation of stories about animals behaving badly, when animals break the law, or when nature breaks the law. I guess it's not only animals, but I really love Mary Roach's books. She has such a really clever way of writing. She writes about really interesting medical stuff. Then another one that I've read but I didn't have a copy of, and then like couldn't find a hardcover copy of that wasn't like the same price as a new ass fucking book, is Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. And this is one of those like rad metal music horror books. In this, we're following a character who's kind of obsessed with macabre things. He is a musician and he finds this dead man's suit for sale on the internet, and he buys it, and like unsurprisingly to everyone except for Jude, I guess, like bad things start to happen in his life after that. But this is like a fantastic book, and one that I need to reread, because the last time I read it was quite a few years ago and I loved it when I did read it. Okay, last couple from ThriftBooks. I got this really short one called Literally Show Me a Healthy Person. I really don't know what this is about, except for that it's weird girl workplace stuff. I don't know, maybe pleasantly surprised to see it was really short, because you know I love a novella. Lastly, for ThriftBooks, I bought Voodoo Fury by Greg Loomis and Trick or Treat by Richie Tankersley Cusick. This is a teen horror novel. This is not. This is apparently about a family who sees a forbidden voodoo ritual and now they're in danger. But why I really wanted it was because of this fucking cover. Look at that. And it ended up being in fairly good condition for a ThriftBooks book, because like I said, the quality is just like so up in the air. I need to change my battery and I'll be right back. The rest of these were gifts. I made my family a list and they were very generous with buying me fun things off of it. First, my brother picked out this one. This is Monsters by Emerald Fennell, who wrote Saltburn, which is why I wanted to get it. The synopsis is very short. It says, 2 children you would never want to meet. The beach, the sea, a body, and then another. A girl, a boy, and a summer holiday unlike any other. It says, disturbingly compelling, and who could say no to this cover? My goodness. I also love that her name is Emerald Fennell. I wonder if that is a stage name, a screen name, or not. I also picked out Blue Jay by Megan Stockton. I've seen this a few times on social media recently. I think that this is more of a maybe extreme horror novel. I could be wrong. It's a novella actually, but that's why I picked it. You know I love my novellas. I needed a few, well, I didn't need, but I wanted a few more to kind of bump up my novella numbers for October. I put some on my list that I really want to read, and that was one of them. Then also Blood Rubies by Michael McDowell. Writing is Axel Young. This was published by Valancourt Books. You know, they have an excellent library of reprinted older horror novels and others, not just horror. They have other stuff too. I don't know what this is about. I just know that I love the cover. It has a nun on it. It's Michael McDowell, who I really enjoy, and so I put it on my list. Okay, now this one, this author, I read their, oh weird, it doesn't say on the cover. I read their last book. At least I think it was their last book, Anybody Home by Michael J. Seidlinger. And there was some continuity issues that I found that made it less enjoyable to me. But this came out last year and I really wanted to read it because it's about these people who find each other, and they are like people who seek out sickness. It says things that will intentionally make them sick. And how far will that go? It sounds like disgusting. I've got a bunch of nun books here. Next is Sister Funtime by Spencer Hamilton. It says a Smiley Land story, so I'm hoping, I didn't pay attention to that I guess when I wrote this on my list, but it seems like maybe I can read it and it won't matter that it's like part of a universe, I guess. But it's about an orphanage run by an evil nun. She looks like she's a load of fun. I also have been dying to read The Wingspan of Severed Hands. This has been out for a few years and I've just really only heard good things about it. So it's a novella. I want to read it. I also believe I've read one of their stories in a Filthy Loot collection, and I really liked it. I received a copy of The Rotting Room by Vicky Parr Hampton, and now this is an author. I was looking through her bibliography. She's written a couple things that sound really interesting, and I'd really never heard her name before this book. I kept seeing this book, and of course I'm interested in it because there's a fucking nun on it, right? And so, but then looking at her other books, I'm like, wow, all these look so good. Like, why have I never seen these? Like, the covers are interesting, and this one sounds good. It's like about a nun, Sister Rafaela, and her and the priest at the, I don't know, I guess convent that she's at, have discovered that there is a like secret order, and they're doing bad things, and they want to get to the bottom of it. Next, Sugar by Mia Ballard. Oh my gosh, I've been dying to read this author's books. This is about an unhinged woman who is, I think, she's acting out, right? And doing some bad things. And you know we love a badly behaved woman. Then also, We All Rot Eventually by Mia Ballard. I love the cover of this. It's so just simplistic and yet beautiful. This takes place in 2005. Another reason why I wanted this, and is about a woman trying to make it in LA, which is interesting to me. Not that that's something I want to do. Then Rest Stop by Nat Cassidy. After reading Nestlings, I wanted to read this. This came out, I think, last year. Am I right? Or maybe the beginning of, I don't know. I also really don't know like what it's about. 2024. I just know that people were like freaking out about it. And so after reading Nestlings and being like, you know, I really like this guy's books, I wanted to read it. Oh, and then a nonfiction I've really wanted to read, The Devils of Loudun by Aldous Huxley. This is a nonfiction book. It's a really interesting story that takes place in France. This is what the movie The Devils by, oh fuck, Ken, I don't know, is it Ken Burns? I don't think it's Ken Burns, is it? Ken Russell. I was like, that's not Ken Burns, that's ridiculous. Ken Russell. It has Oliver Stone in it. It has, what's her name? Julia Redstone? Dang, I should have just looked at my letterbox thing. Vanessa Redgrave, Julia Redstone. What the fuck kind of name is that? Oliver Reed, though. He's quite a handsome man in that movie. The real story is about this priest named Father Grandier, and he is kind of a lecherous man a little bit. He's not always following all the church's rules, and for the most part people have looked the other way until he impregnates a young girl who is of kind of a higher status, and her father is very upset about this. That, along with this nun named Sister Jean, it's like the combination of these two things happening. Sister Jean is really enamored with Father Grandier, and she starts to say that like Grandier is coming to her at night, and because he's the devil, right? He's cavorting with Satan, and this makes this like manic thing happen with some of the nuns there, where they all start to say like they're being touched by Grandier in their dreams, and he's coming to them and forcing himself upon them in their sleep and things. And so like the higher ups in the city kind of take this and run with it, and it turns into like this like witch hunt basically. And Grandier was an interesting man, I think, and he had a lot of interesting ideas about the church. I wanted to read that book. Also, one of my favorite books is by Aldous Huxley, and so it'll be interesting to read a nonfiction book by him. Then I also received Kill for Love by Laura Picklesimmer. Picklesheimer? I don't know. I love that last name though. This is about a young woman in college, in her later years of college, and she's having some issues kind of coping with the transition between college and real life, and she has some sadistic impulses. Super eye-catching cover. I love that one. Okay, last book here, number 34, 35. I requested the third book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. I've read the first one, obsessed with it. I bought the second one, but then I'm like, well, let's just see if this book from my wish list makes it to me. And it did. So, Dungeon Crawler Carl, I've talked about it like 40 million times. If you haven't been listening, why are you here? It's a sci-fi book about a man who discovers that Earth was in this like intergalactic, interplanetary agreement that they broke. And now most Earthlings have been killed. And the ones that have survived because they went into these dungeons. And the dungeons are like video game dungeons almost, except for like they're running through them in real life, and it's a reality TV show that's like broadcast to the galaxy so they can curry favor with you know, people and maybe kind of sway the public opinion toward them, which might help them, or they can do bad things which might get them some notoriety, but maybe in a bad way. And it's just really like way more complex than I imagined when I went going in, and I think that's why I like it so much, is because it's like there's so much going on, and it's all really fun. And sometimes a little bit gruesome. And like so hilarious. One of the funniest books I've ever read. I should make a list of those because some authors just like know how to do it, right? And I think Matt Dinniman is one of them. So that's my gigantic, excellent, awesome, most rad birthday book haul. Now I'm really buckling down my Read What You Won't challenge. And now that I've done that, and oh wait, shit. I lied because there are 3 more books I forgot to tell you about. These I bought when we were at Mall of America, which here, like, people haven't really heard of that. When I'm like, oh yeah, my daughter's really excited that we're gonna take her to Mall of America, people are like, okay. But like in the Midwest, it's a big fucking deal. And it should be a big deal everywhere because it is the largest mall in the United States. I think there's a bigger one, like technically in North America, that's in Canada, but in the United States, Mall of America is the biggest one. There is an indoor amusement park, there's a movie theater, there are go-kart things, there's Legoland, there's like this 2-story M&M store, but like, and those are cool, but there are a lot of really cool things there. A lot of really cool stores, like one-offs, things that you're like, why is there a store for this? Like Lovesack, why is there a store for giant bean bags? And also, what do you do if you buy one? Do you like just kind of roll it out into your vehicle, like into the parking lot? I don't know, because I've never bought one, but strange. There's, we went with my dad and my brother, and my dad was looking at hats, right? Like he's like a baseball hat guy, and there were at least three lid stores that we looked at. Mostly we were there because, you know, we wanted to show Lavi, and she's to the age where like malls are cool for her. And so we're just kind of like looking around mostly for stores that she wants to see because she saved up a bunch of money to go do this. And so he's being a good sport, he's following us along, but he's also looking at lids stores. By the time we got to the third one, he hadn't found something he was looking for yet, and so we were like each teasing him about it, but like didn't hear the other tease him about it, and I don't know, it was just like really funny. But eventually he did find something he liked, and I found something that I liked there, which was strange. It's just like it's a twin sweatshirt, not like a hat, because I don't really wear baseball hats, but it was super cute. And we went to Barnes & Noble, and I didn't look around there as much as I would have liked to because I was with 4 other people who I wasn't gonna make them wait an hour while I looked at everything. But I did find a couple things that I wanted. One being Blob by Maggie Sue. This is about a woman who finds this strange blob, and she molds it into a boyfriend for herself. My Darkest Prayer by S.A. Cosby. Yeah, he writes crime thrillers. My favorite crime thriller author, and this is one of his books that I don't have. It's about a man. He seems like he just kind of does a little bit of everything in a small town, and so they kind of look for him when there's this murder that happens, and I guess he's gonna figure it out. Then finally, this is actually the last book. Hexes by Charlene Ellsby, and I have no idea what this is about, but I've wanted to read it since I read some of Charlene Ellsby's short fiction in Filthy Loot. I tried reading her book Violent Faculties, which was so brutal. It made my stomach turn, and I do want to get back to it. I just had to put it down because I was like reading it, and my cat Salem was like sick, and it was just like we didn't, at that point where we didn't quite know what was up yet, but we knew there was something going on, and I knew I was gonna have to take him to the emergency vet and find out what was going on, and he was not doing well. And then afterwards, like, we got this diagnosis for him that's fatal, and I just like couldn't read a book where somebody was like really, really hurting people really badly, and like think about my like cat who was dying, and so it was too sad for me at that point, but I would like to get back to it. Anyway, why do I go on like that? I don't know, but those are the 35 books I got for my 33rd birthday. I think I chose some great ones here, so let me know. Have you read any of these? Have you liked them? Do you want 33 books for your birthday? Thank you. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.